At just 19 years old, Janiqua Warren wowed audiences with her incredible solo performance of Spain by Chick Corea, playing both the tenor and 3 cello pans at once. From her viral moment to her growing recognition in the pan world, we sat down to learn more about the young panist everyone's talking about.
My name is Janiqua Warren. I'm 19 years young. My aunt, she played pan her whole life, and before being introduced to pan by J-Notes and Hilltoppers, when I was younger, she would carry me around with her on she little gigs and stuff like that. And even though she didn't really teach me anything on the pan per se, but being young is seeing your aunts playing and stuff, you go try to, pick up the sticks and, just try to play. And after a while, she started to focus more so on her family, and she wasn't really into pan that much anymore. And I wanted to start very badly. So that's when Mr. Cecil introduced me and my siblings to pan, and that's when it all started. So I was 9 years old when I was properly introduced to pan. Aki Brown's father, Mr. Cecil Phillips, the former manager and arranger of Hilltoppers Pan Academy. I remember him really trying to encourage me and my siblings, because my both siblings, I have 2 siblings by the way, both of them are also pan players. I remember him just, trying to encourage us to be more productive in the community, and he would use pan as a way of helping us to be more productive.
Janiqua Warren is a very special and unique person. Right? We share a close relationship. My son, which is Janiqua's cousin, and Janiqua more or less was in belly at the same time. I raised both Janiqua and my son for a few years, probably up to 4 or 5. And she has always been a very interesting person. The things that she would do, it always would never be, like normal. Things that people struggle with on a regular. And she did everything like fluent. So I recognize that. At that time I wasn't involved in community work or steel band at this level. I was just a player, playing with bands and that kind of stuff. In 2016, I started arranging for J-Notes. That was the first time I started arranging for a steel band called J-Notes in Sandy Grande. And Janiqua and her siblings, they were playing with Guayco Government Primary School. And they expressed their interest to come and play with the band, J-Notes. Right, so I took them with the band at the time, and they played with me for a number of years in Panama.
Before Panama, just doing little gigs, play out, stuff like that, learning my little skills and stuff. And I officially started to play for Panama, my first ever Panama, at the age of 10, 11 years old. One of my big milestones when I first started to play Panama was J-Notes making it to finals with the song Missing Generation by Ella Andel. The first pan I ever played was a double guitar, and I played it for a Panama. And I actually only played it for 1 year before I quickly moved up to tenor, which is a big transformation to move to the middles, to the front line. So I haven't stayed on one pan to just practice on that pan and learn the pan, learn skills and stuff. My first 3 years of playing, I moved very quickly to a different pan. So I started on guitar, then I quickly moved to tenor pan. And my third pan is double seconds, which is actually the same. Yeah, I played for Mission Generation. I played double seconds. And I stayed on that pan for a while. I stayed on that pan for about 2-3 years. I stayed on that pan and I played in Panamas and playouts and gigs on that pan. And, I was in love with that pan. Still am in love with that pan. One of my favorite pans. And now I'm more intrigued by the middle section, which is cellos, quads, and that is kind of what I'm into right now. So I'm a cello girly at the moment. Honestly, just the song, the low notes, the song of the pan, it just captures me, to be very honest. I just really, really love the pan. You know, I just love the pan. I just love it. Right now at the moment, focusing on middles, learning middle skills on tenor as mostly gigs and stuff like that. Tenor would be the ideal pan. You can carry it around easily.
She and her siblings, they stayed with me. I moved from J-Notes and I started Hilltoppers in 2018. And they came here as a part of the academy. And, unfortunately, I would say we are the academy. I myself was just learning how to deal with young people and that kind of thing. So we didn't have much help and much assistance. So as I learn, I impart. But, you're learning on the fly, so them learning on the fly. So a lot of things would have slipped in terms of maybe I could have do things differently to expedite her process. So one of the things we actually did, is partnered with Superior Deltones, right? Because I recognize they have a flowing system, that would definitely, is something we would have liked to not only be a part of, but to become like that, and Akinola and Alpha and those guys down there, they were way more advanced than us musically and everything. So I said, let me carry the players and them down there to get that schooling that I don't have. So that was also a part of raising Janiqua, being a part of Superior Deltones. That outreach program, it did tremendous work for not just Janiqua, but the entire academy.
My main mentor, Akil Brown, he was always there from a very young age. He used to take me and my siblings places. He carried us St. Vincent to play for Panorama. I feel like just him carrying us on gigs and by other bands to play for Panorama. Everybody have a different style of music. All arrangers have a different style of arranging. So just by having that experience to go by different bands and experience different types of music helped me develop my ability a lot. He would just have one-on-one classes with us also. He would sit down and teach us, little skills and stuff to help us understand where some of the music we would be hearing by other bands and can't understand why it's so different from his style of arranging. He would explain it to us a lot and just guide me specifically through my ability and playing and stuff like that. So I feel like that is one of the main reasons why my skill is so advanced now, is over the years just playing my many bands and traveling, playing different styles of music, entering festival. 2 years ago, Hilltoppers entered festival. First time playing classical music like that. It really developed my skill a lot. So my mentors, Akil Brown, Mr. Trevor Valentine, all Terry and stuff like that, he would be responsible for my experience with that. Mr. Akinola Sanan, arranger for Superior Deltones, taught me a lot and is still teaching me a lot.
This thing I want to tell you about Janiqua that is unique and special and make us stand out. I remember sometime home by me, I had a guitar. No, I can't play guitar for nothing, And Janiqua, I don't think she ever had encounters with any other instrument. And I hear her outside doing something in the yard. And I hear something playing inside. Ting, ting, some nice chords are pulling, And she's singing a song, but she make up her own song, right? And she's singing her own song and she playing the guitar. But this is how the guitar, so we know this is how the guitar is supposed to be. So she had the guitar flat, like this, and she playing the strings quite up here. So she don't have it. It was too big for her at the time. And she just playing with it how she thought it should be played. And singing away, own composition, perfect. Right? And I was like, wow. I say, you have something real special. You will be real big in this life. because the maturity of what she was doing, it was like, nah, this is really something special. Somebody have to be gifted to possess this ability. Janiqua has just shown tremendous talent, natural talent. So it had a thing we used to do every year. At the end of the year, we would have a little dinner for them at Christmas time and give them awards, like a little trophy and that kind of thing, because I recognize, in schools and things, they do be appreciated like real, like not one-on-one, but they don't get enough appreciation. Some of the schools, they go do some things, but they don't really single them out and really dissect their abilities or their characteristics and say, well, things. So we form categories saying most improved, most disciplined, most that, and we give everybody. And we had this category, most natural talent, and unanimously, everyone voted for Janiqua because she was just that special of a player. What people struggle to play, she's commanders. So like, when you learn that, no, I hear them playing it and she go on and she played, So I recognize she was always that person with that natural talent and that gift.
Growing up, people always tell me I have a natural ability to play. Every time people see me playing, they always want to know how I just play. How my hands move so easy on the pan. And to me, I just so accustomed doing that for years. I never really zoned in on it. And I would say Akil, he really shaped all of us playing ability, like the way we play. For example, I play and I position my hand a wrong way, making it harder for me to play. He would just show me, well, it would be easier if you do it this way or try it this way. It might be easier, and then over time, eventually, I just get accustomed to doing it that way. Another thing, for example, he always used to tell us not to raise our hands too high. So in terms of how my hand moves so low on the pan is because I grew up with him telling us not to raise our hands so high, and stuff like that.
So I told her father, and I say, make sure, wherever you do in this life, make sure and get this girl involved in something to make sure that she fly and she go in the places that she's supposed to go in life. Every time me and he had the conversation, I used to tell him about that. I say, Janiqua, she's special. Do something, make sure and organize all. We gotta pull ourselves together.
Another person other than Akil, who was my biggest supporter and who would encourage me to come to the Panyard, would have been my father. He passed away 2 years ago, and he would always encourage me to come because, he would always realize that when I have anything going on outside of Pan is the only thing that will keep me happy and keep me sane. So he would always encourage me to come in the Panyard a lot. My mom encouraged me to come in the Panyard a lot also, regardless of what. She knows how much pan means to me, so she would always encourage me too as well to come. My aunt, my siblings, nobody close to me ever really tried to keep me away from pan because I think all of them knows and sees how much pan means to me. So I would say I have a very strong support system. Most people don't have that, so I'm very grateful for that. Before COVID, I did music theory up to grade 2. Me and my band players got an opportunity to do music theory free of charge with MIC Institution of Technology with Mr. Trevor Valentine. He got the opportunity for us to do it free of charge, which I'm very thankful for. Shout out to him. Yeah, I have up to grade 2 right now, looking to further my education in music theory going forward. So one day, Akil came to me and some other players telling us about the Panist Hub competition being held at Grande Food Hub. He was asking us if we would like to participate in the competition. At first, I was very hesitant because I don't like to do solo gigs because I just be real scared. But eventually, he encouraged me to do it. And when I started practicing the song Spain, Chick Corea, I didn't know the song. I haven't played that genre of music by myself before. So I was really scared of if I would be able to perfect it properly, if I'd be able to play it as how it should be played. I was really scared about that. And I would come in the barnyard every night, practice a lot, because it is a difficult piece to play, and I really hate to not play it the way that it's supposed to be played. I actually finished learning the song 2 nights before the first show. The recommendation to play Spain and to play two pans being cello and tenor, came from Akil. We came to an agreement that it will not only show the versatility of Hilltopper Steelpan Academy players, but it will also show that, the steelpan, you could play all genres of music on the steelpan. The tenor piece had plenty notes, plenty movements, right? But honestly, the cello piece was way harder to learn, in my opinion. Just the way I had to move a lot and fast. With the chords, it was harder to learn, it was harder to practice. And I actually practiced the tenor piece, the tenor solo, way less than I practiced the cello piece. As I mentioned before, I wasn't familiar with the song before I had to play it. So I listened to the song a lot, which helped me to master it the way I did. It's have a piece on YouTube with a pianist playing. His name is Yohan Kim. I listened to that piece a lot for me to, just get the idea of the song. The part that was the hardest for me to play and to learn and to perfect was definitely the cello part, the beginning of the song with all the chords, movements, and to play at the speed that I had to play it at. I feel like everything else did come easy to me. What helped me get through the first night was going to the 16 and under competition the night before. I went to just see how the surroundings would be and how the vibe would be. So I went the night before because I was very nervous. So I needed to see, how the surroundings and the stage and everything was, right? So come back to the night of now, right? The night of the competition, I was scared the entire night. I was listening to the other performers perform and just slowly waiting for my number to call and my name to call. And I was just very nervous, very scared. And I know a lot of people was also asking or saying that I didn't really perform much. I didn't really look up and smile much at, the crowd and stuff like that. Reason being is because I was very nervous, very scared, and I feel like the only way for me to really play of the ability that I did was to be solely focused on playing. After the night of playing, the finals night, I went home. After I finished playing and I went home, I didn't really zone in on the video being posted that night. So the day after, when I see how much the video blew up and I see everybody commenting and sharing and how much views and stuff it gets, I was really, really shocked by it because I really wasn't expecting it to blow up the way it did. And all the love I was getting from people all over the world and stuff like that, I was really, really, really shocked by it. And it was an overwhelming experience, I would say that much. Since the video blew up and since that night, I got a lot of support from everybody, a lot of opportunities coming my way, and I'll say I really appreciate it.
It's a real overwhelming feeling of joy, feeling of accomplishment. Reason being, we struggle here in this community. We swimming against the current, and we know what we are doing is the right thing. But because there's so much hype out there, that does overshadow some of the things we're doing here. So what happened is, from that competition, I look at the comments and the love that we get from the wider steelpan community and outside, and the appreciation for the way she deliver. It just gives me a sense of relief, like, yeah, boy, yeah, somebody seeing and somebody actually know and somebody appreciate what you're doing, because I try not to educate them about hype and have them jumping up, and people think that it's a steel band, and I think we're selling ourselves short. I'm not saying no, don't be enthusiastic, right? But I think the foundation is being overlooked for the hype. And as a result, a lot of the panists in Trinidad and Tobago, they're not learning to play properly. And that's an unfortunate thing, because we're supposed to be the standard. And if we maintain that as a trajectory, eventually it is going to show on the global stage that we are not who we claim to be, right? So Janiqua performance and the blow up on the social media, I think why I'm happy about it is give the steelpan community something to think about. You could spend the time with the player, teaching them to play the pan the right way. You understand? Incorporate the music theory and all the other stuff, to make sure that they have a solid foundation. And that's about it with the competition, what it did for me in terms of how it made me feel. And as I say, it's like you get your message out there. And it's just Janiqua is one of quite a few of them who possess that ability.
In the next 5 years, I see myself putting my education and hopefully enrolling in a college that where I can help put my music theory, travel, playing pan, and see where it takes me from there. So outside of pan, I recently started teaching music at a preschool. Some of the kids being special needs children is really teaching me how to have patience and how to deal with the ages of 2 to 4 years. Probably the youngest I ever teach since teaching the children at Hilltopper Steelpan Academy. Right now, the only thing that they have learned is the C major scale. They need to get more familiar with the pan and the sound of the pan before they can actually go into learning music and songs.
Where would you see her in the future?
Definitely on a global stage, plying her craft in this most elegant way. There's a place on the world stage for persons like Janiqua. I think international artists could collaborate with that quality, So I think it have a space on the international stage for Janiqua. Alongside that, as I would say, educating people the way you was educated, especially with the way you play the pan.